Hello everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you how to toggle clothes on and off of a character in vrchat. First things first, you want to make sure everything's important to your project. Starting with the vrchat SDK, your character, for me it is the Wickerbeast, so your model. I personally like to import Poimy toon shaders and the clothes. Next, you're going to go into your folder, find a little triangle looking baby like this, drag and drop into your sample scene. And you'll see there our model is. Next, you're going to want to grab the clothes. So for me, it'll be under Wickerbeast, and it'll be here, the Wickerbeast harness, the prefab asset. Drag and drop, and here it is in our Wickerbeast. You can see that there is no clipping. Sometimes when you drag and drop something in, it will be a bit of a size difference, so you will need to resize it by going in, either double clicking it or finding the little square. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it'll glow orange around it, and you can change the exact scale, position, and rotation. Same thing with the model. Next, you're going to want to unlock the clothes. So right click, unpack prefab, and open it up. You will see there's the armature and then the body. So for that, that'll be the harness. Open up your model, drag and drop it onto the body. Next, grab the armature, line it up with the armature, hips to hips, so on and so forth. You can go in and watch me do all that. Just so you know, sometimes there will be a point where it no longer matches up. In that case, just leave it underneath whichever one it was already on. Same thing with this, it has the end instead of the next point, which would be the Chanel. Alrighty, and once it's all placed on the body, you can close it back up. I always like to continuously save at any point, and you can see that's on our model. Next, you're going to want to open up the Wickerbeast again, for me, the folder of the model, find animations, animator, make sure it is on the correct FX controller. You usually see some things already in there. For me, I'll go next to Action Me and find the parameters. This is very important. Go back to the harness. Something I like to do is always to copy the name, add to the parameters, and paste over. Next, change it to a bool. Once it is a bool, next go into expressions. Now, I've already made control. You add usually a control, and you can just paste it in, the name. You can put, for the type, a toggle. Open up the parameters, and you'll see harness bool, and make sure it says that. Now, if you want to make a sub-controller first, instead of this, I'm going to get rid of it, for example. Right-click your mouse down here, create, vrchat, avatars, expression menu. I'm just going to name it close. Go back into the controller, so the expression menu, add control, name it whatever you want, submenu, close, and that'll be it. Then you'll go into close, add a controller, and name it harness or whatever clothes you have. The type of toggle, and the bool for the harness for the parameters. Next, you're going to make it an option in the submenu. So go to Animator, Parameters, hit the plus mark, bool, harness. Make sure it lines up with the name that you have on the parameter, so we can go and double check. And it does. Next, go into layers, check mark again, harness. And then make sure it is a weight of 1. If it is not a weight of 1, it will not show up in game. Then you're going to go to animation. If it's not there, you can usually find it underneath window in animation. Click Wickerbeast ready, or whatever it is. Create, if there's not one right there. Harness on. And it'll show up down here. Add property. Body, and since we put it under the body earlier, you can see right there, we can just go ahead and grab it. So hit the check mark, make sure this is checked for the on, and you can preview it and see, make sure there's no clipping, there's nothing wrong with it, and it turns on the model. Next, you're going to want to click on this, create a new clip, harness off. Add property, body, hit the little plus mark, and this time do not click the check. Let me just scroll on up to our Wickerbeast again so you can see their cute little face. You're going to go to animator, back to this. You can search it up in the bar, so harness. Here's our little animations we just made. Drag and drop off, harness off, and then harness on. Make sure they're both in here. It doesn't really matter where they're placed, as long as this one, the off one, has an arrow going to it. Next, you're going to right click, harness off, make transition, and pull it down to harness on. Uncheck has exit time, make transition duration as 0, add to list, go all the way down to harness, and make sure that says true. Go back to harness on, right click again, make transition, back to harness off. Click the little arrow, make sure there's no exit time, and 0 on the duration. Check mark, harness, and make sure this time it says false. And that should do it. And I'll show you in game that it works. Alrighty, now you can see in game that if we open up our menu, I went into a check, but it is under close, and there you go. Works just fine, no clipping, and you have your harness. I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, let me know. This was my first tutorial, and I don't really know if I went over everything. Well, I did, but in depth as some may need. So just let me know how I did, and I hope you all have an amazing day.